Putin says he's ready to talk peace with Trump right now. That's because Trump's pressure on Saudi Arabia to ramp up oil production and invest heavily in the United States is a game changer.
And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What's going on out there, peeps? This is what I was talking about. Once Trump gets into office, how is this going to affect Iraq? Well, you see that Trump has already approached Saudi Arabia and OPEC to ramp up production of oil. If they ramp up production of oil, this will drive down the cost per barrel. Of course, here in America, we benefit from it, lower gas prices. He's already started drilling here in the United States once again. But back to Iraq, if you remember correctly, in their last budget, they have built everything based on a $70 per barrel of oil. Now, the new budget hasn't passed yet, but I'm sure one of the things they need to take in consideration, they need to figure out how much they think they're going to get per barrel. So if they ramp up production, that's diluting the market with oil. That's going to cause the price to go down. That's one of the things I was concerned about, along with a couple of other things. So let's go ahead and get into this. I just want to give everybody a quick reminder. You can go over to Pimpy's News Network. It is free for everybody. Everybody has access to the videos that are on the website. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. All right, let's go down memory lane, shall we? Keep in mind, Trump and Iran have a lot of tension between them. Trump killed Soleimani, and Iran has been trying to assassinate him ever since. This is not good for Iraq, of course, who is supported and backed by Iran. So how much cooperation between Iraq and President Trump is there going to be? Or are there going to be tensions? Coordination framework, no enmity with Trump and America, but we are friends. I don't know about that. The coordination framework, which brings together the Shiite political forces formed by the government of al-Sudani, confirmed on Monday that he was not afraid of the new U.S. President Donald Trump regarding the imposition of any of the sanctions on Iraq during the next phase. Yeah, well, FAFO, there's a lot of leaders in countries who have went up against Trump already, refusing to take back some of these illegal immigrants, and 6 minutes later they changed their mind. So right now sanctions should be an issue. An MP told the news that the coordinated framework has no fears about Trump, and promoting concerns about the imposition of any sanctions on Iraq is not real or far from reality. Well, I'm glad they feel so confident, but it's these types of talks, saying these types of things, that are going to cause Iraq to go backwards. They should find a way to cooperate with Trump as much as possible, which in my opinion is going to be very hard. First, you're going to see Trump ask for Saudi Arabia to pump up production of oil, causing oil prices to go down per barrel. Secondly, Iran's not going to really let Iraq get along with the United States, or maybe they just shut up because Iran is not in any position to be going to war with the United States or getting any kind of tiff whatsoever. The last thing we need is Iraq to stick their nose right in their business and make things hard for themselves. So it's nice that they talk about how they're not afraid of anything, but what we don't want to do is find out. See, Baghdad and Washington have good relations on various levels. We seek and work to strengthen those relationships during the next phase. That's what you want to hear. He pointed out that the United States of America is an institutional country and has a fixed policy of dealing with countries, including Iraq, and changing the president of the country does not mean changing the policy and taking hostile decisions towards the friendly countries of Washington, including Iraq. He'll only be as friendly as you cooperate with him. He has a mandate he is following, and he's not going to allow anything to get in that way. The coordinated framework is not afraid of Trump, and he does not believe that the Republican president would do anything towards Iraq, but on the contrary, he will strengthen the relationships during the coming periods. Yeah, that's fine. Just talk the talk. That's fine. As long as you get in there and cooperate with him, I think we'll be okay. Since the announcement of the results of the American election, Trump's victory in the position, Republican MPs have worked to mobilize new administration against some Iraqi figures, accusing some of them of complete loyalty to Iran and calling on the United States president to take action against them. And that's something that I guarantee he has taken in consideration. Trump's new team, including the strongest opponent of Iranian access, has also avenged greatly against the previous administration, Joe Biden, and the Barack Obama administration, considering that these two administrations have handed over Iraq to Iran after the withdrawal and after a series of negotiations. So no, there's nothing major really happening at the moment, just a bunch of jockeying for position, I guess is a good way to put it. Who's going to be the alpha and who's going to be the beta? Iraq is a key test of Trump's willingness to counter Iran. See, Iran is constantly becoming an issue for Iraq. Iraq looms as a complex test for the new Trump administration. Will it be a hawk that pries loose a weakened Iranian grip, or an isolationist that withdraws the remaining American troops whose presence dates to the war that President Trump once called a big fat mistake? Iraqi officials recognize the new administration could be a turning point. The Prime Minister has called for the strengthening ties with the United States and stalled calls for a phased withdrawal of United States troops from the country following the collapse of the al-Assad regime in the neighboring Syria. While that's another ally for Iran, and the fact that that regime is gone, that just weakens the strength of Iran, who is going to lean more on Iraq for a lot of assistance. The major changes in the balance of power within the region, coupled with President Trump's reappointment, means that Iraq's government wants the reassurance of U.S. troops' presence in Syria and facing Syria from al-Assad. Michael Knights, an Iraq expert at the Washington Institute think tank, told the Business Insider, Al-Assad is an enormous air base in Iraq's western border province of Anbar that hosts U.S. troops. Pulling them out strengthens Iran's hand and risks giving ISIS remnants a chance to resurge. See, you can see this type of threat take place, where if Iraq is not playing ball with Trump, he'll just pull out his troops, knowing that they do not have a strong enough army yet to, in my opinion, fight off ISIS members, if they for some reason or another start to gain momentum and grow in numbers once again. Everyone remembers how the rise of ISIS began with the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Iraq last time in 2011. Knights said the Iraqi leadership also wants to be a good partner to the United States, and evicting U.S. troops is not a good way to start. Iraq provided a pivotal flashpoint in Trump's first term. He ordered the killing of a top Iranian general there, who was killed along with the commander of the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militia. Iran retaliated by firing ballistic missiles at U.S. troops at al-Assad, injuring over 100 American personnel. Upon Trump's inauguration this week, the Prime Minister, al-Sudani, sent his congratulations and said his country seeks strengthened relations. But the overture faces hard realities. Sudani leads a pro-Iran coalition that may have little appetite or power to disarm Iranian-backed militia. Well, they might have little power, but if more U.S. troops show up, I'm sure they have no problems with helping Iraq do so. No one can honestly say that Iraq is today balanced between Iran and the United States when the government of Iraq was appointed by the Iranian-backed militia, who won a minority of the seats in the 2021 election. Knights said Iraq's government, intelligence services, and economy are now riddled with Iranian-backed militia, and that has to change before President Trump's teams see Iraq as a trusted friend again. Once again, let me state, Iran getting in the way of progress for Iraq. Iraqi Foreign Minister Hussein recently told Reuters that Baghdad is trying to convince powerful Shiite militias in the country to disarm or join the Iraqi security forces. He noted it would have been impossible to discuss this topic in Iraq 2 years ago. So although this can go either way, I would say right now there's nothing to stress about or guess about. Let's just see how things play out once Trump and al-Sudani meet, and then they relay their message to Iran. Like I said before, I believe Trump is going to use al-Sudani to be the go-between and see if they can come up with some deal. Let's all hope that things fall into place. We don't need any more interruptions or conflicts in Iraq. They've been on a good roll, bringing in a lot of business, a lot of outside foreign investments, as well as being in the middle of working on some very big projects. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.